Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday, Week 18 recap. The final week of the regular season is in the books, and it was not a good day for the Cleveland Browns as they do lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll go over all that and all of the NFL action and the Sunday night game, which ended moments ago. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 uh, NFL Football Sunday, Week 18 trivia question. It's a Browns one. What wide receiver set a Browns record when he posted 1,236 receiving yards during the 1989 season? And I will have the answer to that later on the podcast. Uh, well, the Browns had taken the early uh, 7-0 lead in the first quarter, but too many mistakes, mainly interceptions and turnovers, and the Steelers just were costly for the Browns, and the Steelers just took advantage of every mistake the Browns made in this game. Browns just fell apart in the second half and were not able to score as the Steelers beat the Browns 28-14 today at Asset Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Browns failed to fully uh, utilize the running game. Chubb finished the game with a with a touchdown and with I think it was 77 yards. With 77 yards and just 12 carries, Kareem Hunt had just 4 carries, while the majority of Watson's 44 yards rushing yards, came out of depression. Cleveland's defense had its moments, especially in the first half, but their inability to stop the run allowed Pickett to find his rhythm in the second half. The Browns' defense facility on third down also loomed large in the outcome of this game today. Uh, Watson was sacked 7 times in this game against the Steelers. Uh, and the Browns did cut Pittsburgh's lead to 20-14 with 10-11 left in the game. But the Steelers scored a touchdown they needed to win the game, and that pretty much was it for the Browns as season as they for the Browns as they finished the season, with a record of 7-10. I felt the defense could have played a lot better in this game because they kept dropping the ball and they were giving the Steelers too much room to score, and you can't do that. You cannot give the opposing team like the Steelers that much room to score. And I feel the Browns defense could have played better, and in general, the Browns could have played better in this game. So we finished the record with 7-10 in last place in the AFC North, and the Browns are going to have a lot of work to do in the offseason to really improve this team and the roster for next season. And I think defensive coordinator Joe Woods could be on the way out the door. He could be getting fired along with the special teams coach. I think Stefanski's job might be safe for now. I think it will be. I think we'll have him back. And Miles Garrett, I know, will be back, and he really wants, and he and Watson both want to make a playoff run and a Super Bowl run next season. They want to do everything they can in training camp to really make it work and get some good draft picks and really get some vets to come here as well. Uh, and I am gonna uh, wasn't too many bright spots today in this game. So this was one of those games where there just weren't too many bright spots today in this game. Uh, and it just was not a good day. And I'm going to recap this game for you right now. First quarter, the Browns went 3-and-out, had to punt after going 4 plays for 20 yards, and then the Steelers fumbled. Uh, and then it was a fumble. Third and goal at the Cleveland 1. Neil Harris at up the middle to the Cleveland 1 for no gain, and then fumbles, and it was recovered by Jones. Touched at the Cleveland 1, recovered by Anthony Wright at the Cleveland 5 for no gain, and the Browns got the ball back. Then the Browns went 3-and-out again, had to punt after 4 plays for 20 yards, and the Steelers had to punt after going 3-and-out, 5 plays, 23 yards, and then the Browns had to punt again after 4 plays and 38 yards, and it was scoreless at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Steelers had to punt after going 3-and-out, 3 plays, and -1 yard. The Browns then scored their first touchdown of the game. It was first and 10 at the Pittsburgh 10. Deshaun Watson passed short left to David Njoku for the 10-yard touchdown. And K. George's extra point was good, and it was 7-0 Browns. And that was the only time the Browns led in this game. And then it did not last long as the Steelers answered with their first touchdown of the game. Kirby Pickett passed deep middle to George Pickens for a 31-yard touchdown, and it was a 3rd and 15 at the Cleveland 31. And the Boswell's extra point was good, and it was 7-7. It was tied at 7. The Browns had an interception, and it was 2nd and 6 at the Cleveland 36. Deshaun Watson's pass deep middle intended for David Bell, intercepted by Wallace at the Pittsburgh 41 to the Pittsburgh 44 for 3 yards. And then the Steelers got the ball back, and they got into field goal range. And the Browns just kept giving the Steelers just too much room. That's really what caused, and interceptions and turnovers are what cost the Browns today. And it was 4th and 9 at the Cleveland 31. Boswell's 49-yard field goal was good, and the Steelers led 10-7. And then the Browns got the ball, and they had a 1st and 10. Deshaun Watson scrambles right guard to Cleveland 32 for 7 yards. Then 2nd and 3rd, Cleveland 32. Deshaun Watson passing complete short middle to Nick Chubb, no gain. And Deshaun Watson passed short middle to Woods to the Cleveland 47 for 15 yards. It was 3rd and 3 at the Cleveland 32. 1st and 10, Cleveland 47. Deshaun Watson spiked the ball to stop the clock, no gain. And then 2nd and 10 at the Cleveland 47. Deshaun Watson fumbles, aborted to Cleveland 42, and recovers at the Cleveland 40. Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland 49 for 9 yards. And it was 10-7 at halftime. Third quarter, the Steelers got in the field goal range once again, but because the Browns just kept giving the Steelers just too much room, and Boswell's 34-yard, it was 4th and 15 at the Cleveland 16. Boswell's 34-yard field goal was good, and it was 13-7 Pittsburgh. Then the Browns had another interception, and it was 3rd and 18 at the Cleveland 33, and it was Deshaun Watson pass short middle intended for David Bell, intercepted by KZ at the Cleveland 37. DKZ to Cleveland 25 for 12 yards. And the Steelers got the ball back. And they answered with their second touchdown of the game. And the Browns just could not stop the Steelers from scoring. Neil Harris, right guard for the 4-yard touchdown. And it was the Boswell's extra point was good. And it was 20-7 Steelers. So the Browns had the punt after going 3 and out, 3 plays, 4 yard, minus 6 yards, excuse me. And then the Steelers at the punt are going 3 and out, 3 plays, and no yards. It was 20-7 at the end of the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the Browns scored their second and only other touchdown of the game. And it was Deshaun Watson pass short left to Nick Chubb for the 2-yard touchdown. KJ's extra point was good, and it was 20-14. And that was when the Browns cut the lead to 20-14. But after that, the Steelers came back and scored their third touchdown of the game, and it was Watt up the middle for the 1-yard touchdown and a 2-point conversion attempt. And Kenny Pickett's pass to Johnson is complete. The attempt succeeded, and the Browns just could not keep the Steelers from scoring, and it was 22-14. Steelers. Now, this is when the Browns defense needed to play better, and they needed to score to try to come back and win the game, but that was not the case. It was another interception. This is what costed them. And it was an interception, and that it was a turnover on downs, excuse me. And it was there were three. It's a Deshaun Watson pass incomplete to short left for Kareem Hunt. It was no gain. Deshaun Watson sacked at the Cleveland 45 for minus 11 yards with 3-14 at Pittsburgh 44. And then 4th and 25 was Deshaun Watson sacked again at the Cleveland 38 for minus 7 yards. And then Pittsburgh would come back and score one more touchdown they needed to win the game. And nonetheless, the Steelers get the win by the final score of 28-14. And I got to give the game balls to the Steelers. Kenny Pickett, 13 of 29 carries and attempts, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. I think it was Neil Harris. Najee Harris. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Najee Harris. I am so sorry. That was Najee Harris who scored those couple of touchdowns. It was not Neil Harris. It was Najee Harris. 23 attempts, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. George Pickens, 3 receptions, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Steelers end their season with a winning record 9-8, but they do not make the playoffs because the Dolphins got that final play spot with their win today, and they need the Dolphins to lose, and that did not happen. The Browns fought 7-10, and they end up in last place in the division. And I'm going to go over all the scores in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Stats Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday Week 18 trivia question. What wide receiver set a record, the Browns record, when he posted 2,236 receiving yards during the 1989 season? If you said Webster Slaughter, you are correct. Webster Slaughter set that Browns record in 1989. Now, we'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Right now, it's going to be time to go over all of the other NFL scores from Week 18 to wrap it up. The Atlanta Falcons upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their home field at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, 30-17 today. Boy, Brady and the Bucs they did not play well in this game today, and they fall to 8-9 in the season, and the Atlanta Falcons go to 7-10, and the Falcons get the game balls. Riddler and Algier and London, they all get the game balls for that one. The Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots and 35-23, and New England falls short of the playoffs. They needed to win and could not do it. And I got to give the game balls to Josh Allen. And Uh, I got to give them to Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and I think it's James Cook. I have to give them to them. Uh, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Chicago Bears 29-13. Chicago's season ends, but Minnesota uh, season they go to play. They're in the playoffs, and they Chicago just it did not bode well for them today. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-16 at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. The Houston Texans upset the Indianapolis Colts 32-31. I went 10-6 on my picks, and my brother Eric Hoy went 8-8, and I won the picks. And the only there was three wins in the Packers Lions game, the Titans Jaguars game, the Steelers Browns game, and the Rams Steelers was over four. And boy, and the four he did, the four he did. I took the other team, and he took the opposing team. Uh, the Miami and Houston really upset Indianapolis by 32-31. I thought Indianapolis would do it, and I got to give the game balls to the Texans. Uh, uh, and it's uh, Mills, Aguilar, and Cooks. That's who get them for that. And the Miami Dolphins, they go to the playoffs. They get that final playoff spot, and they beat the New York Jets a low-scoring affair, 11-6. And the Carolina Panthers beat the New Orleans Saints. They have sent in New Orleans 10-7. You already know the Browns lost to Pittsburgh 28-14. The Denver Broncos upset the LA Chargers in Denver at Empire Field in Mile High, 31-28. The Philadelphia Eagles run their season with a 13-3 record, 22-16 win over the Giants. The San Francisco 49ers walloped Arizona 38-13. The Seattle Seahawks beat the LA Rams 19-16. They're in the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys got walloped by the Washington Commanders 26-6. And the Detroit Lions came from behind just moments ago to beat the Green Bay Packers 20-16. And week 18 of the regular season is in the books. So and next week will be the wild card playoff games, and I'll cover that for you. You get a podcast, one or two podcasts from me later in the week. But that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up for this one. And I'll give a podcast later in the week. Always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.